spit my gum out. That'd be annoying.
Hey guys.
Welcome back.
Okay, guys, we are talking about the new Dahmer limited series on Netflix, and we just talked about it for like 15 minutes. I was like, maybe we should hit record because, like, I'm sure our listeners also would like that. So I don't know about you guys, but Evan Peters is sexy and has me questioning my sanity because I'm watching him as Dahmer and like I'm a little bit hot and bothered.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I know.
But you know what? It is what it is.
Yep, it is what it is. And it's just the actor, not
the actor, not the acts.
Character. Yeah. Right.
Not the character. It's not the shit that he does.
Yeah, but I would recommend watching the show. What was that?
Yes. So it's except for the weightlifting. That part. I do like that part.
That's legit.
That is kind of hot. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, welcome to episode 8, season 2, episode 8 of Girls Gone Spooky. I'm Liv.
And I'm Amy. And
Amy just got a haircut.
Oh yeah, but it's already up already. I put it away.
I know, already done. It looks so good though. So fresh shit, that's fresh.
Yes. It's fresh.
I keep leaning towards my mic as if it's working. So I'm sorry if my sound sounds weird today, but my mic isn't connecting for some reason. So anyway, I cut you off, Amy. This is
Girls Gone Spooky. I don't even know if we said that already. We might have.
I don't think we did. Maybe episode. Yeah, maybe we did. Who knows?
Who cares?
I'm just so distracted by sexy Evan Peters
and by my
Dahmer. Yeah, obviously. I mean, that is the top priority.
Yeah.
Okay. First things first. Did we say happy Girls Gone Spooky anniversary last episode? I don't think we did.
No, I don't think we did either. How did we not?
Happy anniversary. Yay. It was last week, but it was like middle of last week, I think. So happy anniversary. Yay.
Yay.
We did it. Can you believe?
No, I can't. It does not feel that long, really.
No. And I mean, it's just been so much fun. So like for anyone like hanging with us, listening, we appreciate you. We like originally started doing this literally just for us because we think it's so interesting. And I don't know, I feel like I'm going to be very corny for a second. Like, obviously we've stayed super close since college, but this has made me feel like so much closer to you in like a day-to-day kind of way.
Yeah.
And I'm like insanely grateful for that. So
yeah, me
happy
too.
Happy anniversary.
Yay, happy anniversary. And I was thinking about that, how I feel like it hasn't been a challenge to come up with topics still.
No.
And I hope it will continue to be, somewhat easy because we are so into this. So it's cool.
And I find like I feel like for a while it was like, ooh, like, is this a good topic? Is this a good topic? But lately it's been really like rolling, you know? I think the shift to this like format has worked really well as opposed to like locations. But so just very grateful and spooky.
Very spooky. Always
spooky. So we're gonna put a dime in the jukebox, baby, and talk about some haunted music. I'm with the band. Oh my god!
I don't think we can describe that.
Well, I'll try very briefly. When Amy and I were in university, we were laying on her bed one day, completely sober, and had our hands up like little hand puppets, like all fingers and thumb together, and we're like making them talk. We were completely sober, like not high, not drunk. It was like a 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, and we're like, woo! I was the band! And we were laughing so hard.
Yeah.
And now we're just a couple of silly nanas, you know?
Always and forever. Were we even listening to music? Or was
I
it
don't
just
think so.
Suddenly?
I think we were literally laying on your bed doing the Mustang Daily crossword puzzle, and then we rolled over and started doing that fucking thing. Like, oh wait, I remember why. Because remember, we didn't have any. We had like weird service issues in your room. And so I was like,
Oh.
I'm gonna put my phone on the elevator, and I like flipped onto my back and put my phone on my foot and started
Yeah.
extending my leg. And then once my leg was up there, then my
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
oh,
know,
we're so
you had to
weird.
be
But you
there.
know what? Yeah, it was definitely a good moment. So anyway, we can move on to not bore
Yeah.
you poor innocent souls.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so we're talking about haunted music, and some of mine. Okay, so Amy's covering some more like directly haunted music, like obvious things.
Mhm.
Mine is like again a little bit adjacent, but it's still music. It's just like music boxes, not
Mhm.
exclusively, but there are so many haunted music boxes and they all play
Yes.
music, right? So like
Yeah.
that's part of the haunting.
Ooh.
Obviously, Amy has her own creepy story about haunted music boxes or a haunting involving a musical thing.
Do I?
Don't you? Didn't that thing in your room?
It wasn't music box, though. It was like a
Oh,
little solar-powered
toy.
toy thing,
Oh, okay. But didn't it
but it
play
would be
music
cool.
or no?
No.
Oh, it didn't. Oh,
It
for some
didn't.
reason I like okay, sorry. I misremembered that then. I thought it like played music. I was like, that's fucking
No.
terrifying.
No. But I do
Still
have a
creepy.
music box that, like, you wind it up and it seems like it's done, and then suddenly it starts playing again, but I don't think that's, like,
Hmm.
ghosty at all.
A
But,
mechanical
yeah.
thing.
That
Yeah.
thing that I'll just tell the story anyway. I was just, like, standing in my
Yeah.
room, and I had this little toy, I guess it was, that spun around, and it was solar powered, but it stopped working for some reason and hadn't been working for a while. And then suddenly one day I had this weird feeling and I looked over and this toy was spinning and then it stopped. So, you know,
Don't like it.
bizarre.
Don't like that at all.
Yep. But no music, but
Um,
still creepy.
okay, still very creepy. Okay, so I'm gonna take you guys through a few different music box stories, some short, some a little longer, and then there's a really interesting thread from Reddit about like cursed or haunted music. It stems from their like the OP's personal story and then a ton of comments of little like creepy
Ooh,
snippets. So I'm
cool.
just gonna kind of
Okay.
read through like the highlights of those. So
Mhm.
starting with the first haunted music box. So this is a user named Banham31 on Reddit. And they're basically asking, like, does anyone know anything about like haunted items? And they go on to explain, my Nan sadly, so cute, Nan. My Nan sadly passed away a few years ago, and I inherited her musical smoking box, which I didn't know was
Whoa.
a thing, but apparently
Mm-mm.
is a thing. Since I've had it, it's sat on my bookshelf for years and only gets dusted. I made sure when I put it there, it had no tension on the mechanism so it wouldn't go off on its own. And it never did go off until Christmas Day last year when I got back from the family dinner. It didn't just go off the once either. It was continuous for a while longer than it would normally have gone off if it were wound up.
Hmm.
And remember, they checked to make sure there was no tension on it.
Yeah.
I've tested it since to see how long it'll go for. I'm absolutely a skeptic and don't believe in the supernatural at all until this happened. It was just way too coincidental for me to explain any other way, and it's really unnerving me. I'm wondering what I should do to test it, if it really is haunted or if I'm simply going mad. Should I try a Ouija board or a seance? My Nan
No.
loved to freak. I know. I was like, no. My Nan loved to freak us kids out when we were young by
Hmm.
doing seances, which is
Mhm.
like kind of funny,
Yeah.
and was really good at it. So I was wondering if this might have something to do with this box. Any
Hmm.
advice is welcome. So people kind of like go on to say whatever. A lot of people are saying like burn it with salt and gasoline to
Whoa.
like force the spirit to pass on. And the original poster is like, well, if it's my Nan, like I don't really
Yeah.
want to force the spirit out. Like if
Right.
she wants to be with me, like that's her choice.
Yeah.
Um, and then they go into talk about like electrical glitches and like weird things that they could like possibly like test maybe to see if it's just like a mechanical issue. And he basically does everything that these people say to try. And it's like,
Hmm. No luck.
and my favorite is, well, I might be late to post to this, but please don't do a Ouija board, obviously. Or it's the obvious. Your house is probably fine now, even if there is a ghost, but who knows what will happen if you lean into this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go on to say, I'm saying this because my house used to be haunted, or maybe still is, and I'm talking audibly haunted to the point it was hard to deny. Footsteps, shadows, my dog's growling, scratching, something running around in the attic,
Well,
weird blinding lights, whispering, things going missing, someone humming loudly all the time. So on. And I get that for us, it wasn't hard to communicate it as opposed to you, but please just try to talk to it, even if it is a spirit. I was
wow.
like, Jesus, that lit.
It goes on and
Oh,
on.
on and on.
Wow.
Someone running around in the attic,
Yeah.
shadows, dogs barking, scratching, blinding lights.
Yep. Wow. They
Jesus.
really just got used to a lot.
Yeah, it's a hard fucking pass for me.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Oh God. Okay, so this story comes from the UK, from Birmingham. And they went to a like vintage shop, I guess, in a town called Walsall, 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 and
Mhm.
found a quote haunted music box in the back. So they tell the story quite well. So I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
As I sped along the M6 from the Doghouse Antiques and Collectibles shop in Walsall, I heard an eerie noise. It wasn't a concerning engine sound or the frantic honking of another driver. It was the unprovoked tinkling of the little old music box I'd found hidden away at the back of a shelf in the cluttered 6,000 square foot cavern of the curiosity shop, emanating from my boot. And if
Whoa.
you're in
Oh,
North America and you're like,
trunk.
what is a boot? It's a trunk.
Took me a
Um,
second.
I'd given it a good wind some 5 miles back, hearing it out in the car park before it set off for home, and now it had suddenly sprung into life again. My first thought was a funny one, that it sounded like an ice cream van on the motorway. My second, which followed quickly thereafter, snatched the smile from my face as suddenly as the music had begun. I'd shared a laugh with the proprietor, John Rudder, that the box may be haunted as he was totting up my bill at the counter. Quote, and this bit is where the demon is hiding, isn't it? I joked as I gestured to the cover of the mechanism. He politely played along with my gag. He pointed out a rotating meat hanger behind the counter, which would have once been used to cook meat over a fire. This one sprang into life earlier, he said. The sun must have warmed the oil up in the mechanism and it suddenly started working again.
Hmm.
He'd been chatting to a little boy when I arrived, looking through a box filled with old coins. The little one was asking whether there were any Victorian coins that he could exchange for his more modern pocket money. The doghouse is by far and away the best shop in all of Walsall, as well as kind, knowledgeable staff. The entire space is filled with whatsits and whoosits, trinklements and whatchamacallits, some sweet, some old, some new. Like, so cute.
Cute. Yeah.
They're hanging from the ceiling, stuffed into cases, and hidden down alleyways formed of old wooden furniture of almost every single description. So I walked around the corner and down one, checking out some reasonably priced Birmingham silver stowed away in a cabinet. Pens from the 1900s, sugar tongs, rings, earrings, and things that I couldn't place. The turning of a new hour was marked by a cacophony of noise, grandfather clocks and wall clocks and shelf clocks and goodness knows what clocks chiming 3 p.m. I admired once prized tea sets, giant cabinets, and records. In a pile of tins, I managed to find myself a battered but no less charming Cadbury chocolate box with a picture of a boy holding an apple on it. After moseying down every single aisle, my eyes flickered into every inch of the space so as not to miss anything. I came to my favorite part of the shop, boxy shelves containing hundreds of bits and bobs, single tankards, crystal glasses missing their 5 friends, old vases, and trinkets. I set aside a little funny Wade porcelain crab that had caught my eye, a cut glass goblet I felt sorry for some reason, and the ugliest glugglefish jug I've ever seen in my life. Quote, he looks like
Glugglefish.
he's had a life, John said as he wrapped it up in paper. Finally, I noticed some old cardboard boxes on the very bottom shelf, so I sat my bum down and set about opening them all to see what was inside. One housed an old glass thermometer, and that was when I'd first set eyes on my music box. Tatty and Warren bearing a sticker that told me it was only 5 pounds, I turned it over in my hands. Surely it wouldn't work if I wound it up. So I did.
Mhm.
It was beautiful and somehow still quite creepy. It tinkled out its tune as though it was brand new, a statement from the little box that it definitely still had life in it yet. I had to have it. As John rang me up a bill of just £38, I made my first joke about the box being haunted. I'd plinked out a couple of notes at the desk, which would have given me the willies if I wasn't such a cynic. But as I zipped off down the motorway home, the box whirring away disconcertingly in my boot, and the car seemingly now 10 degrees colder, I wondered whether I had found the box or if this strange old box had actually found me.
Ooh. Intrigue.
Intrigue. So there's no follow up on it, but I just thought that was like, I love the way it was told and
Mhm.
just like, it reminded me of like Goosebumps. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the new Goosebumps book,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
just so like, sweet and innocent, and then you're like, ooh, that's kind
Yeah.
of creepy.
Little shiver. Yeah.
Just a little shiver.
That was
Um,
well written.
yeah, and just like so British and cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back to Reddit now. So this is from a user Leather Maintenance 35. So a week or two ago, my mother bought my sister, who is 4 years old, a music box. I didn't think much of it, but it looked and sounded a little bit creepy, but we agreed to keep it on the porch because we had a decent sized porch with 3 or 4 chairs. My dad pointed out it sounds like the music box from Annabelle, the
Oh God.
2014 film, which, as a reminder, is about the Warren family and the haunting with the doll.
Mhm.
And I agreed. So a week goes by, nothing odd happens. But on Tuesday at 10:30 p.m., which is the time I regularly shower, I can promise you I heard the music box outside my bathroom window, which is a very small window, around up top near the roof to stop people from looking in, but to stop the mirrors from getting too foggy. I heard the box go off. I was frozen and I tried to look a little bit outside the window to see a white face. It wasn't a
Oh.
white man, but it was a full white silhouette that just moved when I looked at it.
Hmm.
5 minutes go by. I get out to see the door locked, but I didn't lock it. So I thought I was maybe hallucinating. Now, some of you may say that someone stole it from the porch, but I doubt that that was it because there was no forced entry and all the doors are locked. So they would have to get through 3 doors: the front door, the dining room, and the basement door. And we have cameras. So we didn't see anyone walk in the front door. So it sounds to me like the porch is not actually outside so
Mhm.
much as like out on like a landing where they have a
Yeah.
door.
It's like a sunroom or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So 2 days go by and I still have not told my parents because I'm pretty sure they think I'm crazy and paranoid. And I hear that damn music box again, but now it's in the basement.
Oh. Mm-mm.
I got mad, and this time I went into my parents' and my siblings' rooms to see if they're pulling a prank on me, and they all said, "No, what are you talking about?" I think about going down in the basement to see, but I pull myself together and I'm not going to make the same mistake people in horror movies do. So that same day, my parents come into my room telling me to stop moving the music box inside because we agreed not to. I told them I didn't, and of course they didn't believe me until they heard the box go off in the basement. They said it
Oh.
was in their room, and now it's in the basement again.
Mm.
They had a look of shock, fear, and distress, so I knew they weren't messing with me. They threw it in the garbage, and that's the last we've heard of it. And
Whoa.
this was about a year ago.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then there are so many people who were like, "Oh, I just bought a music box, and now I'm so freaked out." Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you should be.
Mhm. Wow, that is
Um,
spooky.
yeah, very creepy. Um, okay, so this one, I think this is the last of the music box one. Yes, it is. Okay. Let me just make sure I'm okay. Last of the music box ones. This is from Bubby Bumble. Um, this one is really simple. I walked into my room and a music box went off by itself. I tried shaking it, and that does make it play, but only for a really short amount of time. When it went off by itself, all I did was step near it and it played until I walked out of the room.
Hmm.
The weird thing about this is that the music box is very common, but mine is special. All of the ones that I found online play the entertainer, while mine plays a creepy minor tune that I can't even find on tune finding sites. So it's like
Whoa.
trying to figure out like what is the song even.
Mhm.
The music box is a copper man playing piano, and I got it from my great grandmother's house, who is still alive. I can link a video of mine and a video of one online that plays The Entertainer. I already posted on Name That Song, which is a subreddit, asking for what the tune was, but nobody has responded.
Hmm.
So this got so much attention, and they posted it on several different subreddits. And so there were like people, like thousands of people, like, where's the link? Where's the link? So they actually linked to the YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, People found that it's Windmills in Your Mind is the name
Hmm.
of the song that's playing.
I don't know that.
But the weirdest thing is less about the song and more about like no one's touching it. They just walk in the room and it turns on and
Yeah,
then stops when they leave.
right.
Like just creepy and
That's,
bizarro.
yeah, that would make me uncomfortable, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Sure.
Um, okay, so now on to cursed slash haunted music.
Okay.
So the original poster's username is FJA91, and then I'm going to refer to a bunch of people who've commented.
Mhm.
So we'll start with the original post. I worked in a 4-star hotel a couple months ago, and my manager told me his personal experience with a random piece of stock music that happened to make the entire staff feel very weird and uneasy every time it came on. The freaky part was that when they were alone in the basement area, all of them heard disembodied voices whispering the lyrics to them. It got
Oh.
so bad that almost everyone threatened to quit if they didn't remove the song from the playlist.
Wow.
That was a couple years ago. He still tries Googling the song unsuccessfully. I'll spill the beans now to admit that my goal here is to find the song somehow because it's just so creepy. Have any of you guys experienced something similar? And I obviously don't mean the overhyped stuff like Gloomy Sunday or My Way, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
music that people are like notoriously, this is fucking creepy. And a lot of it has to do with, I'll get into this, but like the devil's tritone, which just
Yeah.
like the dissonance just in your head gives you a weird vibe.
Mhm.
Um, this is an interesting note, and I actually didn't know this, and now I'm like, oh, I'm less annoyed by this now. So they posted an edit and said, okay, this gained a lot of traction, so I'll get down to the specifics. I'm naturally interested in all of your personal experiences, but for those of you who feel like going on a scavenger hunt, one quick detail: big establishments don't play the radio in hotel lobbies due to legal reasons. It's why
Hmm.
you hear elevator music or muzak most of the
Yeah.
time. The song you're looking for is definitely royalty free and makes the search super difficult, which
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere from SoundCloud to sites that sell stock songs. It had elements of electronic music, and the only helpful thing is a woman singing, and by the end, whispering, and deeper and deeper and deeper in a very
Oh.
monotone tone. This was what everyone had whispered to them when they were alone, and deeper and deeper
Hmm.
and deeper in the basement, which is even
Yeah.
creepier because that's literally deeper in the
Yeah.
building.
Underground. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whispering didn't have the music accompanied. The whispering was just and deeper and deeper
Oh,
and deeper.
that is so creepy.
Yeah. So they they posted another update a little bit later and said, like, I've posted it on all of these different subreddits, which, like, note to self, subreddit Name That Song and subreddit Tip of My Tongue. It's
Oh,
literally like, hey, what's that song that goes like
yeah.
this? And people comment, find the song, which I'm like, I need to bookmark those
Yeah.
because that
Same.
happens to me all the goddamn time.
Hmm. Except I
Okay.
never know how to, like, this song that's like da
Na,
da
na,
da
na, na.
da da da. It's like, how do I spell that?
And I don't think Reddit has an audio, like an audio feature. Let me see. Oh no, you can. You can talk.
Oh, yeah. That is very
So that,
useful.
yeah, that would help. So you could be like, okay, it goes like da na na
Yeah.
na na. Just feeling like a total
Uh-huh.
idiot. Um, okay, so here are some of the comments which I thought were really interesting, which like already creepy. One of the things people mention is that there's a Madonna song that's something has the lyric like and deeper and deeper and deeper or something,
Hmm.
but there's no like people are like maybe the stock song sampled that
Yeah.
line or something, but there's nothing of Madonna just saying like whispering that.
Yeah.
So they'd have to like augment the audio file so much that it just like doesn't make sense. So it's
Yeah.
probably not connected to that at all.
Hmm.
So someone comments, I wish I had a cool experience to share regarding a song, but just because I like the story so much, check out the production of the album The Bedlam and Goliath by the Mars Volta. It's talked about on the Wikipedia page, but basically one of the two main songwriters went on a trip to Jerusalem and went to a bazaar and bought this old-looking Ouija board. Of all the
Yeah.
places, you're going to go to fucking Jerusalem. You're going to go to an ancient city
Mhm. And
of
by
people of the book, and you're going to buy a fucking Ouija board? Like, you are asking for some
Yeah.
bullshit right
Yeah.
there. Anyway,
Ill-advised.
shade, mad shade. He and the rest of the band then started using it, and things got wild. They made contact with an entity called Goliath, and this
Whoa.
is literally called The Bedlam and Goliath, the song.
Mhm.
After that, a series of bad events happened, including members leaving abruptly, injuries, major problems with the recording process, including losing tons of previously recorded material, and the main recording engineer having a mental breakdown and abandoning the project completely. They were able to hire another engineer, but then the member who first bought the Ouija board broke it in half and buried it in an undisclosed location and has vowed never to tell anyone where it is. It all worked out in the end because the album was very successful and, in my opinion, is their best. So maybe something to do with him burying it turned things around,
That's
which is
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. My old roommate told me how her close friend worked at a dance studio in Chicago that was supposedly haunted. She says that the radio would turn on its own, and songs would come on from the playlist, but you could hear a demonic voice in the background. Even one time, something called her name through the
Mm.
speaker.
Mm-mm. I would have to quit
Yeah,
immediately.
literally. And someone replied to that comment and said a lot of dance studios seem to have paranormal stuff going on, which,
Hmm.
just a quick insertion, I would say it's not limited to dance, it's like performance
Yeah.
arts.
Right.
Like dance studios, like vocal recording studios,
Mhm.
theaters. I mean, theaters absolutely has to be a topic because
Yes.
there are so many,
Yeah.
like so many haunted theaters and actors like about to go on stage experiencing the shit, and they're like, "What the
What
fuck?" Like
what was that? Yeah.
I've even had weird shit happen in my like community theater
Mhm.
career, like
Yeah.
creepy shit.
Yeah. Is that next week?
Um,
I can't remember.
I think so. I
Okay.
think
Ooh,
it is. Let me
exciting.
double check. Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
um, Okay, so sorry, back to this comment. So a lot of dance studios seem to have paranormal stuff going on. My daughter goes to a dance academy, which was started in the 1940s, and it has cameras in every room for parents that can't be there in person to watch their kids dance. They have an app where you can actually just watch live on camera. Well, one night I was bored and decided to just log in and watch at 2 p.m. And I saw some crazy shit. I'm not going to tell my daughter about it, but that place is definitely haunted. She
Whoa.
doesn't say what, but I'm sure it's like shit moving around and
Yeah.
like orbs and crap.
Mhm.
Okay, another one. I remember I was talking about this with my coworkers just last week. My uncle was listening to an old record when a hidden song began to play, and he remembers how the lyrics were talking about events that happened to my uncle when he was a little boy. And
Whoa.
the melody was so beautiful, it made my uncle cry.
Oh.
What's strange about this whole experience is that both he and his wife heard the song. And when they played it back to listen to it again, it was as if the song had never existed on the vinyl.
Whoa. How
They
bizarre.
spent hours. They spent hours trying to find it and play it back, and they never could find it, which is just
Whoa.
mind-boggling.
Uh-huh.
To this day, we still talk about it and how strange that experience was.
Yeah.
Like that's
Extremely.
weird.
Yeah.
That's like glitch in
Whoa.
the matrix shit right
Yeah, it
there.
is. Yeah. Ooh, that's weird.
Yeah, super weird. Okay, this is what I was talking about before, the devil's tritone. So someone says, have you heard of the devil's interval or devil's tritone? Orchestras are actually banned from playing it because it has a long history of causing paranormal activity and, more importantly, tragedy. There are certain tritone intervals that were historically labeled as diabolus in musica, the devil in music, I guess Latin. For various and possibly superstitious reasons, these tones were avoided and somewhat forbidden. Many people have said that these tritone intervals give them a very unsettling feeling, as if something evil is present. A famous example, a piece called The Devil's Trill Sonata by Giuseppe Tartini. Tartini said that the devil gave him instructions on how to write this piece in a dream in exchange for his soul.
Mm-hmm.
Tartini woke up and immediately tried to write down what he had heard. He was never able to fully capture the music from his dream, and rumor has it that the song is cursed. For another classic, more modern tritone example, a go-to is Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath, which reportedly caused real fear in people who saw them play it live in the earlier days. This was adopted by many doom metal bands who work with the tritone regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting one.
Yeah, I did. I read about the tritone a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is interesting. And they use it in many songs now. People just,
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know, but it does make you uneasy. Like some of the examples that one of the articles I saw gave was that I think people could picture without hearing it right now is the intro to Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Oh,
ee,
yeah. Yeah.
and it's
Oh,
like
God. Yeah.
never really resolved. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Unresolved for
hmm
sure.
yeah, ooh,
I
that's
even think
cool.
about like, yeah, it is cool. I even think about some of like anything in like a minor key can kind of give you
Hmm.
that sense, like
Yeah,
Tchaikovsky. Like I think about
hmm
Tchaikovsky's music, like
yeah,
there's so much of that that's like eerie as shit.
hmm
But then I don't know, there's something different though about the tritone. Like it's
yeah,
interesting and I loved that Giuseppe Tartini story. I was like, that's
hmm
really interesting.
yeah. That is
Um,
interesting.
because I know you'll get into this a little bit, but I think about like guitarists and like
Hmm.
people who are like very like I don't know, a little more like hardcore. I don't think about like classical composers being
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm gonna sell my
yeah,
soul.
I
Like,
know.
okay.
Yeah, that is
Um,
true.
yeah. Okay, just three more quick ones. So when I was a teenager, me and my girlfriend had, quote, our song, like many couples do. One night, to fall asleep, I was listening to it, and out of nowhere, the music changed to a set of noises that sounded like tortured animals and chanting.
Oh
I was
God.
so scared that I showed my mom, and we went to see a friend of hers that deals with paranormal stuff. She heard it and was really scared. And by the way, the original song was Haruna Karada from the Naruto opening.
Oh.
So it's like very like kosher,
Hmm.
cute. And after listening to it a couple times, she told me to erase it. And after that, I had a couple kind of weird things happen, but nothing else music related.
Hmm.
So it's kind of interesting. It was like
Yeah,
something was trying to like
yeah.
creep its way in.
Oof. Yeah.
Um, my son loves the music from uh, the baby monitor. And I don't like, wait, let's see. Oh. So my son loves music and I can hear it through the baby
Oh.
monitor, but I really don't like to play it when he's in there because I can hear someone singing along with the song. And
Mm-mm.
like the son is too young for that.
Yeah.
I've not told my boyfriend because it's really quiet, but I swear I can hear someone singing. Um, I turn music on, by the way, if my son wakes up because it puts him right to sleep. I don't like to use like video anymore to put him back to sleep, but he loves the music. And there are no words. It's just like nursery rhyme,
Hmm.
like
Tunes.
melodies
Yeah.
being played, but I swear I can hear someone singing along
Mm,
to it.
that is
If it
weird.
already had lyrics, I could see it being like, oh, you're just hearing an echo
Yeah.
or something like that. But like without any lyrics, that's
Hmm. Yeah. That is creepy.
um yeah. Okay, last one. Not so much a haunted song, but I have had a somewhat relevant experience. I live in a rural area in England, a tiny sleepy village surrounded by cider orchards and farmland. Cute.
Yeah.
It's like the holiday.
Yeah.
um, when we first moved to the village, I took my dog Bailey on a walk through the orchard opposite my house. Nothing seemed off until I reached the center of the orchard, nowhere near any houses or roads. When I started to hear creepy orchestral music, like piano, violins, etc. It wasn't really coming from anywhere specific, it didn't seem. I looked for a speaker in the trees and I couldn't find anything. The music always kind of sounded like it was coming from behind me. It was starting to get dark at that point, and my dog was acting uneasy, so I decided to go home. A few years later, I heard my sister talking to my mom and hearing the same exact thing in that orchard, which my mom confirmed she also had heard. And my mom is the biggest skeptic I've ever met. The orchard has since been uprooted and all the trees were burned. I never found out where that music was coming from.
Wow. Weird.
Like, no houses around,
Yeah,
no source for it to come from.
that's
And it was
bizarre.
like, yeah, very,
And
very
everyone
bizarre.
could hear it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
The mom, the sister, and yeah, the OP.
Hmm. That reminds me of, I think we talked about this once before with the Kristen Smart podcast. Do you
Mhm.
remember the episode where the person who was renting the mom's house was
That's right.
hearing like the watch beeping from under the garden?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. Maybe something was buried there or someone in that orchard. You never know.
Oh, and like their phone was going off or something
Yeah.
awful. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
Yikes. I guess you
Well,
never
it's
know.
hard in trees, it's hard because sound
Hmm.
doesn't travel well. So it's like, what's
Yeah.
happening?
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
I
don't
would
like
rather
that.
not experience
I'd rather not. Thank
that.
you so much. I'd rather
I'll pass
not.
on that one.
That's a hard pass for me. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah.
Um, okay, and that's all I got. It's all you,
Wow.
sis.
Cool. Um, okay. So, yeah, I guess this one, my topic for today sort of fits in with the devil's interval kind of thing, is what led me to this eventually. So that all fits in well. So I think the theme is kind of like the devil in music, basically. Not necessarily haunted or cursed, although there's a little bit of that. But anyway, the main one that I have for today, I think we mentioned before with like no context or detail. So this time we'll get into it. But it's Robert Johnson, who was this like masterful blues artist in the 1930s. And details of his life are still getting pieced together, and possibly it's the mystery of those missing pieces that also contributes to this ongoing conspiracy about him, which is that he sold his soul to the devil in exchange for becoming this amazing musician. So here's his story as we know it. So he was born in Hazelhurst, Mississippi, after his mother had an affair with a field hand. And his mother's husband, so not his dad, but the woman or the man his mom was married to, was also having a bunch of affairs. And one of them led him to fleeing town because he heard that one of his mistress's husbands was this high powered businessman who definitely would not take kindly to another man spending time with his wife. Um, and but a sad detail to that is that it said this town where they lived, there had been 4 lynchings within the last few months. So, as a black man, that was a very real fear as well. Um, so when his mom's husband left, they were left destitute basically from the time that Robert was born to age 7 until his mom remarried. And at that time, excuse me, the whole family took up cotton picking to make ends meet. But Robert, don't blame him at all. He did not enjoy the work. And so that's when he started to show interest in music. And he picked up guitar and this like makeshift sort of instrument called the diddley bow. Have you ever seen or heard one of those?
No.
Okay, I hadn't either. And so I watched a video, and
Lebo.
yeah,
So cute.
it was really cool actually. It was like it only has one string and it doesn't have
Okay.
any frets or anything like you see on
Okay.
a guitar. So you use like a ceramic thing on your finger to slide to
Like a
change
slide, yeah.
pitch, but it's just one string. So you're like just pulling the same string over and over, but sliding around. You should look it up. It was cool.
Oh, that sounds really hard.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it.
so simple, it would be really
Yeah,
hard.
and the way that they made it, I guess, when Robert was playing one, was a string attached to the side of a house, and then they had a glass bottle as the bridge, like
Okay.
so there was tension
Yeah.
on the string.
To lift
So
it,
he
yeah.
was like playing it against a house. It wasn't even like a handheld instrument.
My god.
It's yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
What's that instrument that, Joni Mitchell plays sometimes that's like is it
Oh,
a sitar?
I think it's a glockenspiel. I'm pretty sure,
Glockenspiel. Where that she plays
but
on California, right?
yeah, I'm not sure that that's a glockenspiel. Actually, I'm gonna look up a
I can I can
picture.
I can I can look it up.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think it is just based on this. Oh no, no,
Okay.
because that is not. It's like a xylophone. So
A
I don't know.
dulcimer?
Yeah, that sounds right too. Who knows?
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, an Appalachian dulcimer.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, totally.
Yeah, there's so many instruments out there that
Mm,
we just don't.
well, a
Yeah,
sitar sounds really cool
yeah,
too.
it does. Yeah. So anyway, that was a sidetrack. But okay, next part of his life was that he was 17. He got married to a 14-year-old girl that he loved very much. So they were like
Okay.
actually together. But as soon as they got married, she got pregnant and went off to live at home with her family so that they could take care of
Oh,
her and help with the baby. But Robert stayed behind to try to earn money. So
okay.
at that point, he gave up on his music because, frankly, he wasn't good at the time. So he needed to do work that would actually pay him. And when he finally saved up and he showed up to his wife's family's house to, reunite with his wife and baby, they both had tragically died during the birth. So that's,
No!
yeah. And this is the first link between Robert and the devil because his wife's family immediately were like, no, you can't come here because this happened. Like they died because of your devil music. So
Oh,
they were like already putting him
mean.
in this box and like associating him with the devil. So,
Well, which, like, rock and roll was or I
yeah,
guess it wasn't rock and roll at that time, but
it's blues. Yeah.
close.
Yeah. So I don't know, but they, yeah, turned him away. And
So
after those losses, he doubled down on his music now that he didn't need to provide for a family, and he would go to shows all the time. And the big names in blues at that time in his area were Son House, which is Son, and
mm.
Willie Brown. And when Robert would go to those shows, he would go up on the stage and play their instruments during the intermission, like uninvited. um, just because he
Cool.
was like so desperate to play.
Right.
But he, like I said, he was not good. And there was an interview with Son House in 1999, and he said, folks, they come and say, why don't you go out and make that boy put that thing down? He is running us crazy. So people would
People didn't wanna
like,
hear
no, they were jeering, they would boo, and yeah, he eventually
it.
was like fully kicked out of the place. And he left for a couple months, and no one knew where he went during that time. But when he eventually did come back, House and Brown, they kind of like took pity on him a little bit. So they gave him another chance to play. And suddenly he was incredible. Like overnight, he was
What?
this master musician. They said that it sounded like two people were playing at once when he was playing, and
Yeah.
he was just suddenly amazing. So,
That's the only part I knew, that it was like 2 people were playing at once. I didn't know
mhm,
that he was, like, overnight incredible.
mhm. Yeah, it was like
That's really
he was there, left, and then came back and was suddenly the expert. So, kind of bizarre. Um, but with this newfound talent, he started playing shows, and he eventually got this chance to record his own music at a studio. And they said that during the recording, he would always play with his back to the people and facing a corner. So it was like, are you getting some sort of acoustic thing, or are you like trying to keep a secret of how you're playing what you're playing? Yeah. Are you muted?
Oh, an accident, yeah, sorry.
Like a Zoom
But
call?
how but how? At that time,
Yeah,
it's like he had a jukebox, you know what I
right.
mean? Like,
I know. Yeah, so people were suspicious of him, I guess, like thinking he was hiding some sort of secret. Who knows that maybe he had like a
yeah,
devil, a third
devil,
hand, a third hand from
right,
the devil coming out. Who knows?
maybe.
But um, that speculation led to the story that persists today, that when Robert was booed off of the stage for the last time and disappeared for those few months, that was when he made his deal with the devil, which was
Mm,
his soul for this amazing musical talent. And they say that how it happened was that Robert was playing music at a crossroads at midnight, which conjured the devil. And the devil took his guitar, played a few songs, and handed it back to Robert, which was basically signing the deal that now soul for the musical talent. And Robert's songs like don't do much to dispel these rumors about him, because his most popular song is called Crossroad Blues, where he
yeah.
talks about going to the crossroads, and he talks about begging for mercy. So,
Mm,
excuse me, I don't know what's going on. So that's kind of a weird detail. And then his
yeah.
next most popular song is Me and the Devil Blues. So in that
Like,
one,
I'm
yeah,
a
yeah, which yeah, the lyrics of that one are like something about me and the devil walking side by side with my evil spirit or something like that. So it's just generally very devil centric is his music.
okay,
Um,
devil centric. That's
yeah,
how I hope to be remembered. He's very devil
devil
centric,
centric. Yeah.
I would
Yeah. But that rumor about him, it continued to take off, and it led to what has now become known as the Crossroads Curse,
say.
because
Mm,
they say that musicians who cover that song, the Crossroad Blues, continue to have these tragedies come into their life. So,
mm.
some examples are that Eric Clapton covered the song with his band Cream, and not long after, his 2 year old son fell out of a window, which I did not know.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what, uh, da 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 da. If I saw you in heaven. That's
oh,
about his son. Yeah, he fell out a window. It was like
oh,
horrible, horrible,
yeah.
horrible, horrible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was like
That's,
2 or something. He
mhm,
was like like a child, a
yeah,
toddler.
he was too. Yikes.
Oof, yeah.
hmm Um, and then another example was Leonard Skinner. They played a cover of the song and then were in a plane crash that killed three of their band members.
Right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
hmm And
Leonard
then,
Skinner.
yeah, the Allman Brothers also, they covered the song like throughout their career. But then Dwayne Allman, he died in a motorcycle accident. Then a year later, another of their band members also died in a motorcycle accident in almost the exact same spot. So
What the
it
fuck?
could just be a dangerous road, but like it's a little weird. So, yeah.
Mm.
But that's the Crossroads curse. And then this other thing that adds more fuel to the fire of Robert having sold his soul to the devil is that the circumstances of his death are mysterious. Like, no one knows for sure the cause of his death, and no one really even knows where he was buried. But we do know that he died at the age of 27, which
Ah,
brings
here
us
we
to the final
go.
topic, which is, yeah, the 27 Club, which
Mhm.
the 27 Club, that's like a nice, catchy name for something that's actually really tragic. Um, it's the pattern, I suppose, of famous musicians dying at the age of 27. And I think for most people, that's probably just a coincidence, but others speculate that it's because these musicians have made satanic pacts and their debt to the devil, aka their souls, are set to be paid during their 27th year. So, the theory that these are satanic pacts or that the devil is involved actually probably does come from Robert Johnson because he
Yeah.
is one of the earliest known like members, I guess, of this club. Um, but people really started to notice this pattern when in 1970, it was over the span of only 10 months that Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jim Morrison all died at the age of 27.
So wild.
Yeah. And then there was even more attention paid to it in the wake of Kurt Cobain's death at 27 in 1994. And then again after Amy Winehouse's death at 27 in 2011. So now people have continued to put together that there are so many other, like maybe lower profile, but equally talented musicians who also died at 27. Um, for example, Brian Jones, who was a founding member of the Rolling Stones, he was found dead at 27 in his pool. And
Oh,
yeah,
good.
but people, including Keith Richards, who's from the Rolling Stones, suspect that foul play was involved or that his death was just
Hmm.
really kind of mysterious. Um, and it
I didn't
was,
know that.
yeah, I think they actually reopened the investigation into that in 2009, which was 40 years after it happened. But I don't
Wow.
think anything changed as a result of that investigation. And I just thought it was kind of funny. His official cause of death that they recorded was, I didn't write it down. I think it was like death by misadventure or something, because they were trying to have like this overarching umbrella term, I guess, for the fact that he had been drinking. I think he
Of
had like
course.
sleeping pills, maybe something like that. So, anyway, then also there are members of Canned Heat, Badfinger, The Grateful Dead, and Big Star, which is one of my favorites, just to name
Mm.
a few that are also members of the 27 Club. But I knew that there was mystery surrounding Jim Morrison's death, but I don't think I realized the extent of it until I was reading about this.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna just quickly paraphrase what
Yeah, yeah.
happened. But it's just mysterious because there's a little detail that I didn't know.
Mm.
So Jim Morrison died at 27. He was found in his bathtub.
Mm.
And according to his girlfriend, she found him there in the morning, but they had spent the night together, but she knew that he got up to like go take a bath in the middle of the night. But she went back to
Okay.
sleep and then found him the next morning. But then it comes out that some people say they saw him at a club. This was in Paris. He was out buying drugs from these two drug dealers. And
Okay.
they went into the bathroom, presumably to do the deal. But then when they never came out, or they took forever to come out, the bouncer of the club went in to check, and he found that Jim Morrison was unconscious in the bathroom stall. But then that leads to this whole other conspiracy that, like, these two drug dealers who sold him the drugs moved him
Right.
into the house to put him into the bathtub where he was found.
What?
So it's, I don't know, like, people are just, it's bizarre, and they never did an autopsy. So we don't actually know what the cause of death is. He was
What if
just
it was like
buried.
collusion between the drug dealers and the girlfriend? What if she
Yes.
wanted him dead?
Yeah, that is possible. And the thing that, the
Weird.
little detail that kind of like pushed me over, I guess, I don't even know what I think, but the girlfriend, she also died at the age of 27.
What the
So
fuck?
it's like, did she, I don't know, did she want him to die because there was some sort of exchange of whatever he had going on onto her? This sounds ridiculous, but I don't know, it's
No,
weird.
but I mean, if you've seen Paranormal Activity,
Yeah.
it tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Was there any mention of the white lighter thing?
Oh, I didn't go into that, but yes. I know they all had white lighters on their bodies, right?
At
When
least
they,
allegedly, yeah.
mhm. Yeah.
There's like among the like cigarette and pot smokers of the
Mhm.
world, like don't carry a white lighter.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like have one, but I don't take it out with me ever, 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 ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Just don't, like, put it in your pocket or anything. Don't have
Yeah,
it on your
no.
person, but
I have a hot pink one.
cute.
That one comes with
Mhm. Yeah.
matches my phone case.
Ah. She's
And
so
also,
coordinated.
since I know my parents listen to this, to smoke pot, not cigarettes. Not legal.
Uh-huh.
LOL.
Yeah.
This is something I have to clarify. And welcome to 2022.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's that. But I just was fascinated by Jim Morrison's story. Like, who do we believe?
Yeah.
You know?
And also, like, why did the girlfriend die at
Um,
the same age?
Heroin overdose for her.
But,
But
like, why 27? You
yeah,
know?
yeah. And also, I know that all of these people were incredibly famous, and they kind of became
Right.
famous overnight, and that's stressful. But is there something
Mm.
else that was like pushing them to this dark place that they ended up in? I don't know. I don't
I
really
mean,
know
that
what I
seems
think.
very plausible.
Yeah. What's your opinion?
I don't know. I like this is going to make me sound kind of kooky, but like I almost feel kind of aligned with like what you're saying about like did whatever he have transfer to her somehow?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
if she so okay, so say very hypothetically, say he made some sort of deal with the devil,
Mhm.
right? For fame, success, whatever. You probably would tell your partner, right?
Mhm.
Like your partner would probably know.
Yeah.
So if that happened and you told your partner, then wouldn't and then your partner saw you rise to fame,
Mhm.
wouldn't you kind of think like,
Oh.
well, couldn't I kind of get in on that?
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I feel like there's like something weird there that like not necessarily that it transferred over, but maybe her knowing kind of doomed her in a way.
Mhm.
I wonder what the significance of the number 27 though is like in numerology or whatever. Like if there's anything
Yeah.
demonic about that because obviously we know like 666 is like the mark of the beast or whatever,
Mhm.
but I don't
Yeah.
know if 27 has any meaning. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't as far as I know. And 2 plus 7 is 9.
Yeah, which I don't think that's
2 times 7 is 14,
yeah, I don't
which I don't
know.
think is like means anything, but I don't know.
Oh, this, I'm just
Oh,
looking it up.
yeah.
I just Googled meaning of nine. So
Mhm.
the first result is from Cosmopolitan magazine, and I'm not even clicking on it. It's just the little blurb. The nine
Yeah.
is powerful. It represents completion, although not a final ending, more like the fulfillment of one cycle.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I don't
Let's
know.
see what 27 means.
But yeah, there was another little part. I don't know if they actually include this as part of the 27 Club theory, but also next to Jimi Hendrix, there was a some song lyrics that he had written down that his friend who like tried to clean up the scene a little bit um, took because he thought it was a suicide note, but
Oh,
it was, let me see if I still have the tab open. It was something about like heaven and something ending. So I think people maybe thought he like knew something was coming, but he did not commit suicide as far as we know. Because they described him
interesting.
as like just he would take a handful of pills from somebody, not even knowing what they were, and take them. So it was just
It
part of
wasn't like
what he did.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
5, yeah.
So,
27 is interesting. Okay, I'm just going to read this. This is like very nerdy and mathematical, but in decimal, it is the first composite number not divisible by any of its digits. It is the radix, or base of the septemvigesimal positional system, whatever that means.
uh-huh.
27 is the only positive integer that is 3 times the sum of its digits.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
In a prime reciprocal magic square of the multiples of 1/7, the magic constant is 27.
Magic. That's all I heard from that.
Yeah, I mean, but the magic constant, I don't know, that's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
Um, and then another says like symbolism behind like 27 as an angel number, so called,
Mhm.
is new beginnings and spiritual awakening.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Interesting.
That makes it sound more hopeful than like it's a sign of like spiritual gift or like faith, trust, self-belief as opposed to like something dark, but
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
Hmm.
know. Like what is that?
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what to believe, but it is a weird coincidence, that's for sure. If it is
And for
just
them all
coincidence.
to be, I mean, I'm sure there are millions of people, maybe more, who have died at 27,
Yeah.
but for them all to be kind of from the same era and very much like famous people.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's almost like it almost has like suicide pact vibes, but it's like death pact
Hmm.
almost. Like
Yeah.
not like 1, 2, 3 die, but there's some other force involved, which
Hmm.
I assume would be
Yeah.
Satan.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it.
Not gonna mince words. I think
Yeah.
it's
It's
Satan.
Satan for sure. And they're all
Mhm.
people that kind of pushed the, what's that saying? They pushed the boundaries of,
Yeah.
like, they were getting into new territory kind of. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, yeah. Let us know what you think. I'd love to hear
Yeah.
people's thoughts.
Seriously. That's like such a weird one, right? Because it's
Hmm.
like I don't know, some of these other things, I mean, I feel like so much of the stuff we discuss is like we're never gonna have answers,
Hmm.
right? Like maybe when we're dead,
Yeah.
we'll have some like enlightenment
Yeah.
that probably is not something we can even comprehend in
Hmm.
life. But I don't know. It's just like it's really interesting and like all the weird shit that's happened to both of us and like our
Hmm.
families and stuff. And
Yeah.
this, I don't know. There's just a lot of weird shit. Just a lot
Hmm.
of really weird shit. It's like
It's,
inexplicable, seemingly.
hmm, yeah, that is true. I love
Yeah.
mystery.
Mystery.
Mystery. We got to keep some
I love
mystery.
mystery.
We got to have some mystery. I'm
But
not one of
yeah, we
those
do.
people that's like, let's
No, I don't
dispel
need
this.
answers.
Let's.
No, don't
experiment. I don't care.
don't take the shine off my bit, all
Yeah.
right? Leave the shine. I want the fucking
Yeah.
shine.
I want the mystery. I want the magic.
I
That's
want the
it.
fucking magic. Especially because it's spooky
Yeah.
season, and as of the time this is being released, we are just one day from October and 0 days from the release of Hocus Pocus 2.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna projectile vomit everywhere. And I have plans Friday night.
Mhm. Are you gonna
And
cancel?
I'm like, I'm not gonna cancel, but I think we're leaving at 9:30. And I'm gonna come home and I'm going to watch it. And then I'm having a friend over Saturday to
Watch it
formally
again.
watch it. And
Yeah.
she's never watched the first one. So we're gonna watch the first
Oh
one
my god.
for context and order
Wow.
pizza or whatever, and then watch the second one.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
can't freaking
That's
wait.
wow, to be able to watch that movie with someone who's never seen it, how
I
cool.
know. It's cool, except I can quote the entire
Yeah.
movie. So I'm gonna have to put a hustle
Refrain.
on myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to refrain because I'm gonna ruin it for her.
Yeah.
You. Okay, and I hate when people do this, but I just have to do it really quickly. I had the funniest dream last night where my brother and I went into Spirit Store. For anyone who's not from North America, Spirit Halloween is like a seasonal costume decoration Halloween store. It was a dream that my brother and I went in there and literally like we're trying on all these costumes, and he ended up in like Daisy Dukes and like the Winifred Sanderson
Oh my
and like
god.
a crop top with the cape. Like I was
Wow.
like, oh my god!
That's his
But it was
costume.
fully. Yes, they fully had a display with like all three sisters, and I was like, hell yeah! I might have to be Winifred Sanderson
Yeah,
this year.
maybe you should.
I have a purple corset. I just need a green skirt and cape,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
kind
can
of
do my
easy.
hair. Yeah, and orange hairspray.
Yeah. Would you be able to commit to her hairstyle though?
I just do space buns.
Okay. Yeah, that would work.
It's close enough. I
Yeah.
like zhuzhum, but
Yeah.
it's space buns.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and then I do lipstick like a little
Uh-huh.
heart.
Little, yeah. Pursed
Yeah.
lips. Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
next time we talk to you, we will have seen Hocus Pocus 2. So just
Except,
know that
will I have?
no.
Because Dave
No,
is gonna be
Amy.
gone, remember?
For how long though? I thought it was just like a few days.
He'll be gone till Wednesday the 5th.
Motherfucker. Okay, maybe not. Okay, 2 episodes from now.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know.
Okay, well, I'll be able to tell you if it's good or not. So
Okay.
you can
Well,
set your expectations reasonably.
okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
You know I'm gonna think it's good no
Yeah.
matter what, right?
Yeah, I have very high
the
expectations. Yeah.
but my bar is low.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me more
Yeah.
Sanderson content.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I'm so excited. Either way.
I'm so freaking excited. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. If you've got like a haunted music box, holler at us, girlsgonespooky@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at, you guessed it, Girls Gone Spooky. And we will see you guys next week. So stay spooky.
Stay
friends.
spooky. Bye.